We're talking about booking stages, speaking gigs, and lead generation opportunities online and offline. So we're not just talking about speaking gigs. We're not just talking about stages. We're actually talking about that and things like gift giveaways where you're, putting your gift up there and you're getting a lot of lead gen opportunities. Okay. So it's a variety of different types of gigs that we're talking about. It's also about developing the systems and assets needed to make booking gigs simple and effective. So we're going to streamline the booking gigs process, make sure that you have the right assets, that you have the right systems, and so that it's not only effective, but that you're really positioned well so that you get more bookings. And then number 3, getting more calls booked as a result of getting stages and online events booked. So you're going to be booking gigs so that you can book calls. That's what we're doing here as well. Let's talk about the steps. All right. So the first step that we'll be working on is completing your signature talk. Number 2 is create your speaker one sheet. Number 3, rock your interview questions. Number 4, crush your marketing videos. Number 5, use tip sheets. Number 6, curate your opportunity list, a really important one. I'm looking forward to that one. And then reach out and land gigs. As I like to say, don't you just love that song? Reach out and land gigs. All right, let's move on. So it's not required that you've done your completed signature talk in order to move forward in this step. I want to be very clear. All right. But the clearer that you are in what your primary talk title is, your topic is, your teaching points are, the more effective that you're going to be overall in your marketing and specifically with this step. So while the name of this step is complete your signature talk, it's not required that you complete it, but you might want to. Okay. It'll also come into play in a few moments. You'll see how important it is to know that for what we're doing. Specifically, as we talk about this next step, which is to complete your speaker one sheet. So what is the speaker one sheet? Well, typically a speaker one sheet is a two-sided printable 8.5 by 11 document that you share with meeting planners in quotes, because meeting planner is the term used for any person who might have a stage or an opportunity for you, right? People who can book you for their venues or help you get on stages. All right. So this is something that it's kind of a classic tool. People want to see your speaker one sheet to know, what are you going to talk about? Do you represent my audience well? What kind of experience do you have, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. The speaker one sheet contains 12 elements. These are the ways that we teach it. And what we've done is created a Google document that takes you through each one of these elements as questions. So you can literally just one at a time get these done. We'll show you exactly what that looks like in a little bit here. Okay. But these are the 12 elements that will take you through. Number 1, your name and contact info, pretty simple. Number 2, your website. Number 3, mini bio. Number 4, your business name. Number 5, tagline, your business tagline. Number 6, what you do statement. Okay. Number 7, your talk titles and descriptions. Again, going back to what I said a few moments ago, it would be great to have your talk titles already thought about before you get here. Okay. You don't need to create your signature talk, but it would be great to know what your titles are. It's actually necessary. Okay. Your images and photos, testimonials. These ideally are not client testimonials, although those are okay. It would be testimonials of people who've seen you speak or event planners who are mentioning how awesome you are and how much the audience loved you, right? Your mission or core message should be on there. Any credibility logos, any news that you've been on, etc., those kind of things. And then if you are a published author, your book image and maybe book title should be a part of it as well. All right, so I want to share with you 4 steps that are going to help you get this speaker sheet process done in the most effective manner. Okay, so let me take you through these. So the first step is, of course, you got to know your talk titles and you've got to create the descriptions. I'm going to show you an example of one of our clients that's used this process to create our speaker one sheet so that you can see how she's put her talk titles and descriptions in. But the bottom line is, what's your talk title and then what's the description? So as an example, my most recent talk was virtual workshops that sell, how to attract 4 to 10 clients a month, even without an email list, something like that. And so that would be the title. And then the description would be something like, in this talk, I help coaches of all stages be able to consistently attract ideal clients using the simple method of having a virtual workshop every month that's fueled by partnership marketing. Clients rave, prospects rave, or people rave about how powerful this training is and all the ahas they got from it or something like that, right? So that's your talk titles. You should ideally have 2 titles. This meeting planners, sometimes they don't want the one that you have and the second one can ensure that you land the gig. You could also have 3 if you want. Okay. The second step is I want you to review this client I talked about, this speaker one sheet. Her company name is Iconic Image Style, and her speaker one sheet is on the next page. I'll show you that right now. So this is the speaker one sheet from Joe Boyd. This is on the left side, the front, on the right side, the back. You can already start to see some of the elements in play, the name of her business, and then her tagline at the top there. We've got, her image. We've got her bio in the white on the far right and underneath her image on the front page, her presentations, the name of it, the description of it, her phone number, her website, et cetera, et cetera. So you can see all the pieces in play here. All right, so that is create your speaker one sheet. Moving on to the third step in booking gigs, talking about rocking your interview questions. So the more prepared you are in your interviews to turn those opportunities into leads, book calls, and clients, the better things will go. Now, these might be interviews that people do on their YouTube channel, on their Instagram. They might be interviewing you in a Facebook group, on Facebook Lives, or it might be on a podcast. It might be on a radio show. These are all different types of gigs, right? So what we're talking about is being prepared to answer those questions effectively. Now, this step is optional because you're welcome to wing your interviews. You may get really good results doing so. Like I'm good at winging it, but for a lot of people, it's really helpful to think this through in advance because it's going to be a system that you can use. Okay. So if you want to make your interviews a repeatable process, then use the interview questions template that I'm about to share with you and map out your interviews in advance and make sure that your interviews and the questions that they're asking and the answers that you're giving are leading people to want to take action on whatever you're offering or work with you. Okay. That's the whole point. You're not trying to just share your message when you're on a podcast or when you're being interviewed. You want to share your message, but you want that to be embedded with, basically calls to action, and you want to inspire people to want to work with you. So you want to think this through. All right. So the interview question number 1, how did you get started in this field and get to where you are? So that's a great question for somebody to ask you. It's something that you can take the time to answer. Number 2, what makes you different? What's your process about? What's the overview, right? So it's a great way for you to, get people interested in working with you. You can seed how you work with people, what your process is, what makes it different, right? Number 3, why are you so good at what you do? Why does your process work? So as you can feel, that question really positions you as being an expert, as being credible, as being good at what you do, as being somebody who is trustworthy. Number 4, what are your top tips? Almost always you're going to be asked to share some value. So why don't you think about the best tips that you can use that are going to cause people to want to work with you? And then number 5, how can people connect with you? This will change depending on the venue, whatever that call to action is. So this is less important than the other ones, but these are the questions that you'll want to have prepared. All right. So just like we did in the speaker one sheet, I want to give you 4 steps that you can take to create your interview questions template here for yourself. It's going to streamline it, make it real quick and easy. All right. So the first thing you want to do is review the interview questions template that we've created. I'm going to share that with you in a second here. Number 2, I want you to rewrite the questions in there to be specific for your business. All right. Those questions that I just shared with you are like generic questions, but you want to have your interviewer ask you these questions specific to your business. So you want to think that through. Number 3, I want you to answer the questions so that everything relates to your offer. And then number 4, I want you to put those answers into a document or notepad for easy access. Now you can just reference this, but the main thing is that when you get your next podcast, you get your next interview, you want to be able to easily find this. Also, if you want to send the interviewer these questions, you have an easy way to shoot that over to them. Okay. So step number 4 here is just easy access. Let's talk about your marketing videos. So there are 2 different types of marketing videos that will help you land speaking gigs. The first one is called the Why You Should Book Me video. The second one is your speaker reel. Let's talk about the Why You Should Book Me video. So this is a simple video that you can do on your phone. Its purpose is to create a connection and to create rapport with a meeting planner. It should be a simple face-to-camera video covering 3 different elements. Number 1, thanking them for doing what they do to make a big difference in the world. You always want to acknowledge them. Number 2, share who you are and what you stand for, what makes you different, what makes you unique, etc. And then share the big problem you solve and why why it's relevant to their audience. It doesn't need to be very long. It just needs to be connecting. It must get them engaged, right? They see a lot of people and you want to connect people to who you are, what makes you different, what do you stand for, and really give people a reason to book you. But speak to them in their language in terms of the fact that they really want to make a big impact. So you're connecting with them about who they are. And number two, you're speaking about what their audience is going to benefit, why they're going to look like a hero if they hire you. Okay. So this is a very simple video that will really go far when booking gigs. The second type of video is the speaker reel. You've probably seen this or heard this. This is a compilation of your best speaking gigs. The less flashy and the edited and perfectly edited, the better, so that they can truly see you in action, raw and real. So it's more important for a meeting planner to see you really do your thing, even make mistakes, like be authentic, than cut away from those and just have these perfect moments, because they can tell, right? So there's an example in the workbook of my speaker reel that you can click on and see. Okay, so you don't have to complete these videos right now. This is not mandatory in order for you to book gigs. I want to be really clear, and I don't want to send you off into some rabbit hole. These are really helpful tools specifically for getting more stages to speak on as a speaker. When it comes to some of these other things, whether it's doing a giveaway or doing a podcast, you are not going to need to have these in place. They're not going to ask for them, but these are going to go a long way to increase your opportunities to get speaking gigs if that's something that you are committed to. All right, let's talk about tip sheets, using tip sheets. This is really, really important. This might be the most important thing that you focus on in this training, because it means that you will be able to get gigs booked directly from what I'm about to teach you. So if you want to streamline everything and sort of you feel overwhelmed by this training because you're like, and I got to go do my speaker, I got to go create my talk. I got to go create the speaker one sheet. I got to create the interview questions. And you're just kind of like, feel like overwhelmed by the amount of things I'm giving you. I would honestly say focus in on this and put those aside, because if you want to just streamline your way through this, because this is going to be all you need to book gigs and get them booked like next week or over the next couple months. All right. So tip sheets like Speakertunity, which is our preferred partner, have done all the detailed work of finding and organizing ideal speaking gigs on a spreadsheet for you. There are many tip sheet options. Okay. So when I say that, what I mean is Speakertunity, which I'm going to recommend you use because you can get a 2-month trial through us. There's a lot of different Speakertunity tip sheets. There's ones that are for Christian audiences. There are ones that are for very local speaking gigs, that are ones that are specifically for summits and radio shows, and others that are specifically for, things like getting on podcasts, etc. So you're going to want to pick the tip sheets that are most relevant to your objectives. Okay. Luckily, with the trial, you can get several, or I think many, if not all of the tip sheets, like many of the main tip sheets in that trial. So you can test them out and see which ones you like, and then you can hone in and just get the ones you really want. Okay. So these are the ones I recommend. Speakertunity summits. This is going to have summits and giveaways. I think this is a really good move for the majority of the people watching this. Very easy to get summits, great visibility opportunity, great lead generation opportunity, and it plugs right into the funnels that we help you with, like a lead magnet funnel that on the thank you page offers a call with you or offers your event so that it can have a double purpose. You can be in a summit, once or twice a month. You can be in giveaways once a month, constantly growing your list. Such great ideas, highly recommended. So that's Speakertunity summits. And we got Speakertunity Radio Insider for business. This is where you're going to get radio and podcast interviews to find really good opportunity there. Then we have Speakertunity Transformational Speaker Leads. That's for, I work with a lot of transformational coaches. So if you're looking to work with people in your clients are transformational, they are personal growth based, things like that. And this is a great tip sheet to get speaking gigs and to get in front of them. All right. Here's some examples of the tip sheets of the ones that I recommend. This is what they look like. You get an email. In those emails, it links you over to either a PDF or to a web page, or it's got these in here. They're updated every single month. So you want to make sure you're looking at the one that's relevant for that month. All right, so that's the first thing, is to get the tip sheets that you want. You can use that link and go ahead and get that set up right now. Moving on to our second to last step, curate your opportunity list. This is super powerful. It brings it all together. Go through the Speakertunity tip sheets or any other lists that you have and curate a specific list on a brand new spreadsheet based on these 4 criteria. The good news is we created the spreadsheet for you, but these are the criteria that we want you to put in terms of like when you're filling out this like a single spreadsheet. These are like the columns. Okay, relevance to your goals and target market, dates of events, types of speaking gigs, contact info of meeting planners. Okay, so we want you to, really take the Speakertunity tip sheets as an example. Let's say you're looking for podcasts and you are going to pour through all the options that are available that month, and you're going to copy and paste those onto a separate spreadsheet, and you're going to organize it. So now, just like we talked about in prospecting mastery with regards to the lead list, where once you populate it, you have the ability to just one at a time reach out to these leads. Same thing. We don't want to reach out directly from the Speakertunity tip sheets because it's not organized. Maybe 3 or 1 out of 3 is going to be relevant, maybe 1 out of 7. So instead of like trying to find your lead in that list, pull your leads over to a separate list so that you have a really organized way when you're ready to go into prospecting mode. It's kind of like creation mode. We talked about that in prospecting mastery. If you haven't watched that, make sure you watch that training. Creation mode, all about, populating the list. Prospecting mode, all about reaching out to the meeting planners and actually booking the gigs. So 2 different silos of focus. Do first get organized, then move into taking action. And these are the categories of, the columns. I'll show you what that looks like. Of course, use the speaker opportunity template that we've created. Here is the speaker opportunity template. So we have this first tab, summits and giveaways. Give you some examples there in gray: name, event type, what's the event, contact information, who's their audience. Then we have speaker opportunity template. And then we have summit and giveaways. All of them are going to have similar kind of tabs. So for speaker opportunities, for summits and giveaways, and there's example. And that third one is an example. You can add others for whatever types of gigs that you want, paid speaking gigs. The list goes on. So you can decide what gigs. Speakertunity has all the types of gigs that you might want. So you're pretty much ready to go. And your job is to get that opportunity template filled out and then move on to reaching out and booking gigs. That's what we're here for, to actually give you that result. All right. So this is the example of the finished version of me doing this. So I went through, I was looking for summits and giveaways. And so, these are based on dates. So as you can look at the date in the far, column there, it says date. These are in order. So I'm organizing this in terms of silos. So we're summits and then giveaways, but then it's also the dates and the sequence so that I can make sure that I am, timely with my reach outs. Then we have main links so I can look at their website and learn more, the main contact and so forth. This might take a little bit to get organized, but remember, focus in and get this kind of work done so that you're streamlined to get the gigs booked or whatever your objective is within your lane. All right. So hopefully that's clear. Super excited for you. Our final step is just pull this all together. If you've done that work, and again, you do not need to do some of the earlier steps to start booking gigs. So those other steps, like your speaker one sheet, like those videos, like your talk, those are critical steps in the overall game of speaking, getting speaking gigs, and they're really important for the long term. But if you want to just get some gigs booked, go ahead and get it done by streamlining your focus with Speakertunity, getting the opportunities list built out. All right, so now you're organized and you're ready to reach out to meeting planners. All that's left is actually doing it. So follow through, take massive action, and reach out. Reach out, get rejected, put yourself out there, feel what it feels like to end your day saying, I submitted for 4 speaking opportunities today. Worst that can happen is nothing, but on the flip side, you might and likely will get some gigs. So take that action and rock it.